Hello guys, and welcome to Haunted Gaming. Now today, I'm going to be doing the Yellow Devil creepypasta for Mega Man. Now I know I said I was going to do Sonic.exe and all that, but I really wanted to do this one first because it just seemed more interesting to me. Now, the creepypasta I'm reading, it's totally just going to be a story, and I'm just going to give you my thoughts at the end of it and how it happened. You know, well, what about it? You know, what I usually do. Now, he says that his favorite video game character was Mega Man, and growing up it was one of his favorite games to play, but he never played the first one, so he decided to go out and buy it. Now, when he went to go buy it, he went to the checkout to buy 2 games. He asked the clerk what happened to the Mega Man games cover, and he told him it was sold to him like that, and that the previous owner, who was 8, wanted to sell the game right away. I asked him if he knows why, and he told me all the kid said was Yellow Devil, and that the boy had a very scared look on his face, and wouldn't look at the clerk because all the kid could see was the red eye. The clerk then proceeded to tell him that he had gotten a newspaper that said the kid had been driven to insanity and landed in an insane asylum about a week after he sold the game, and that he had this game for about a year or so. The kid kept hearing some noise that hurt his ears or something, and kept seeing things like an eye that would watch him wherever he went. A little puzzled by the story, he thanked the clerk and left, eager to try out the game. The whole time he was driving home, he wondered why the boy who went insane wondered about him. Could it be because of the game? No, it couldn't be. It could have just Mega Man we're talking about. How bad could it be? He went home and popped the game into his NES. Nintendo Entertainment System. I had to think about it for a second. And he was greeted with the title screen. He pressed start, and instantly there was a loud screeching sound coming from the game, with a picture of a red eye appearing shortly after, lasting about a split second. He was greeted with a stage select screen. He saw 6 robot masters: Cutman, Gutsman, Iceman, Bombman, Fireman, and Electman. One thing he found odd was that the background was pitch black today. The robot masters were missing, and the robot masters themselves had bright red eyes. His brother, who had played the game before, told him that Cutman was the easiest boss, so he decided to follow his advice. He selected Cutman, but instead of displaying the robot's master name after selecting him, it said, "Leave now." The clear points display was left unaltered. He started the level, and it was just a straightforward path. No enemies, no bottomless pits, nothing. It played Cutman theme, which sounded nice, but as Mega Man started walking on the right, the theme became more and more demonic, slowing down in tempo and lowering in pitch. At the end of the road was a boss door. He entered it, and there was Cutman before the fight started. Cutman said, "Mega Man, get out, or we'll catch you and take you along with it." The battle started, and he fought Cutman. During the battle, giant yellow spears started to appear on the screen. They were coming from Mega Man. They were aiming at Cutman, but they were coming from Mega Man. The spears lashed and formed over Cutman, and then he started screaming while the thing slowly killed him. After the screen went to black and showed the series of violent pictures of Cutman being suffocated, crushed, and torn apart by the yellow mass, all that was left of Cutman was his head and a couple of limbs. There was blood all over the floor. The loud screeching noise from before showed up, and this time it lasted longer. A text showed up saying, "They will all die, and so will you. No one can escape the Yellow Devil." Yellow Devil. I started to remember what my brother said before about it. Yellow Devil was said to be the hardest boss in the game. A boss that would split into multiple parts, and they would ram into Mega Man, causing a large amount of damage. He told him he was a fat yellow blob with limbs that had a very creepy looking eye. An eye that was all black and had a red pupil. His description of the Yellow Devil reminded him of similar bosses found in Mega Man 3 and 8. But he never told him that something like this was in the game. He assumed that that he was playing a hack game at this point and found it kind of disturbing. But curiosity got the best of him, so he continued playing. He was sent back to the stage select screen to see that Dr. Wily's castle is now accessible, and that the rest of the Robot Masters were gone. He chose Wily's castle instead of displaying Wily's name and said, "You were warned, now you will pay." After that, he was immediately transported there. He later learned that in the original games, Wily's name and the clear points display first disappeared. I don't think I read that right. And then Wily would summon his flying saucer and fly off inside it, and the player would be teleported to the stage. Anyways, he entered the stage, and the sky was blood red. The castle was destroyed, covered in flames and blood. Mega Man slowly walked in the remains of the castle to find Wily, Dr. Light, Roll, and other Robot Masters on the floor. They all seemed to be dead, as they were blood on the floor, and they were on their lifeless bodies. He walked up to them and then text from all the characters appearing saying, "Why didn't you save us? Turn back now. It's going to kill you. You cannot escape. The red eye, the red eye." And as Mega Man continued to walk forward, and the yellow spear from before came up behind him at an incredibly fast rate, it formed a giant yellow creature with a demonic red eye. All it said was, "I am the Yellow Devil. No one can escape me." The creature was more skinny than what his brother had described to him, and it had long, stretchable arms and legs at the center of its eye, bright red, evil looking eye. Blood poured from it and started to drip from the floor. It was just unsettling. Screeching noise immediately came back, only this time it was louder and lasted through the whole fight. The Yellow Devil stretched one of its arms and threw Mega Man across the screen multiple times, draining his health until it was at 1 unit left, slowly disfiguring Mega Man with every throw. He couldn't reach in time because he was so quick. Soon, the Yellow Devil split into multiple forms and came hurling at Mega Man at such an incredibly fast pace. He couldn't have Mega Man dodge them, and with each part that hit Mega Man, he became slower and slower, and he couldn't jump. He got to the point where Mega Man couldn't move, and he was basically swallowed whole by the Yellow Devil. The screeching noise got even louder as a giant blob spat Mega Man out, and revealed a mangled, ripped apart, blood-drenched corpse. The screen went black, and all that showed was the corpse of Mega Man and the red iron forehead behind it. The screeching noise got even louder from a high pitch as text appeared saying, "They're all dead, now you're next." Then the words, "No one can escape the Yellow Devil," kept on forming on the screen. The text kept getting bigger and bigger as the screech got louder and high-pitched. And soon after, the red eye appeared again with a screech, reaching its maximum pitch and volume, piercing through his ears, and literally making him bleed. It quickly shot off the game and took it out of the console. He was really creeped out at this point, and felt the urge to get rid of it by any means, even if it meant destroying it. He had a hammer from the garage and proceeded to violently smash the game to bits and threw the remaining pieces in the garbage can. He didn't know what came over him. It was just a game, and from the looks of it, it was hacked. His older brother soon came home after and asked what was up. I told him what happened, explained what he witnessed. He didn't seem to believe him at first, but he soon gave in. Stating he had never seen me this freaked out before, he then patted him on the back and asked if he wanted to come by his new house and hang out there and watch TV. He agreed and gave him a Super Mario World gift he mentioned before, and we drove into his house. Or drove to his house, not into his house, God. They talked about the game for a bit, believing it was hacked, that the simple kid who was insane probably had other mental problems and issues to deal with. They watched The Simpsons for the rest of the night, and they fell asleep for a while. He dreamt that he was walking to his house in the middle of the night. He soon went up to the driveway when all of a sudden his stomach started to hurt. It started to get worse, and soon he was vomiting and coughing up blood. this yellow substance. He continued this non-stop until the yellow substance formed in the yellow devil. He then proceeded to run, but he grabbed him and threw him into the house door, and then on the concrete pavement, feeling broken and in so much pain. He tried to run away, but the yellow devil split into multiple pieces and proceeded to violently latch onto him until he was immobilized. He couldn't move. Not at all. He could still hear sounds. He still had nightmares. And he still saw the red eye. He avoided sleep to avoid the dream. He just fell apart. He couldn't eat. He couldn't think straight. After about a month and a half, in sight. Oh, damn. I hate long words. Psych. Great, you guys get to laugh at this. I'm gonna say psychologist through. Okay? He slowly became better. He had my moments here and there, but he recovered. For the most part, to think that it was a game to impact him, to think that it drove him near to insanity. Because now I'm almost fully He's almost fully recovered. He had the dream much less frequently, if not ever. He still sometimes hears a screeching sound, but it's very faint. The only thing that occurs frequently still is the red eye. It doesn't bother him as much now, but he can't stand to look after it after a while, watching him. And it didn't help him that Capcom 3's and Mega Man 9 and 10 had their own unique versions of the Yellow Devil. You know, looking back on it, it was just the aim. No one can escape the Yellow Devil, I guess. That's a really weird story. In my thoughts, that's really horrible, honestly. That's the first time I've ever read that story, and that kind of creeped me out a bit. Of course, that sort of mental therapy thing totally cannot happen, though. Well, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next on Haunted Gaming, but stay tuned, subscribe and like for more. Comment any suggestions.